doing and how they've been putting things together. Well, I have several properties I'm working on. What about any that any of these rehabbers kind of running out of money right now? That is my number one question, is they tell me who's running out of money, who can't keep them working long enough on a job. And those are the individuals that become a great lead, because I start to research the property. I'll look and see how long they've had that property, what the deed date was, or when they took over. And if it's been over a 6-month period of time and they haven't got it done yet, it's a green light for me to move in. So there you go. Hope you guys followed that.
Well, wait a minute, Chad. Hold on.
Nope, can't tell you anymore. That's like I've given too much. Nope, no more. Can't do it.
We never can give too much. So check this out, Chad. Some students of mine and friends of mine just got, and I'm involved with them. I'm involved deeply with them, helping them step by step. They're great people. They've been with us many years. They got 540 properties from some investors who ran out of money. It's a group from California. And this for you folks, these are not stories. These are not, hey, this is how great Chad and Robert. This is what you can do right now, today, tomorrow. They called, and it's in my book. It's in your book too, Chad. It's in our course. They called 15, 20 hard money lenders. Get out of your head into their head. Chad just said the key word. About 30, 40, 50% investors, and please forgive me. I work with Flip and Flop. I'm friends with Christine and Tarek. I love all those shows, Dave and Flip in Boston, and I know them all, spoke with them all. Chad knows them all. We love them all. And a lot of people get on these shows, watch these shows, and it looks kind of easy. And even Tarek Kastrita said, we don't rehab house in 28 minutes. The show's 30 minutes long. It's a lot harder than you think. And a lot of people don't have systems. They go out and get a house. They go borrow some hard money loan, and they run out of money. They just don't know what they're doing. Chad, I'm guessing 20 to 60% of rehabbers run into that. What would you say is the percentage? Or first-time landlords?
The average across the board, according to ATTOM data, ATTOM data, said it's 1.4 deals per year for the highest level of rehabber across the board in the United States.
Yeah, so that means half are doing none, and half are doing a bunch, and a couple are doing a ton. Yeah. So, but that are failing. So this big group from California put a bunch of money down, bought a pact of 500 houses, had them for a year or two, didn't fix them, got bad contractors, did every mistake possible. We all made for you. And the hard money lender took them back. So what does that do with you? Call 15 or 20 hard money lenders, not just to get money for your deals, which we do that too, to say, hey, just what Chad said, any investors having trouble, not finishing the job, can't pay you. And if you call enough of them, they're going to say, yeah. And what the cool thing is, a lot of them will give you financing because that's what they do. So we're getting a lot of deals right now. We've got involved with 96 in Cincinnati. That's 96. So where the rehabber, they were going to landlord them out, just got bad managers, got bad rehabbers, ran out of money. So what Chad just told you, contractors, hey, you know anybody that needs to get out of their property that's running out of money, that's having some troubles? And I think repair is the biggest area where people make mistakes. We've made them for you. We have whole systems for that. And we check them every week. We get written bids. We get 2 bids. The construction costs, yes, have gone up 30 to 80%. But we get fixed contracts, and we tell the contractor, do you have fixed contracts for your lumber and wood and drywall? And if they go no, then, we got a problem there with the contract, because they could go up 70%. Well, what if lumber and drywall goes up, 50, 80%, which it has in some instances? Can you handle it? Is this a fixed contract? Well, one thing to say, I've got a fixed contract. Another thing to ask that question, are your costs locked in? No. Well, do you have a ton of money if the price go up? No. Well, then how are you gonna finish the job if lumber goes from 20 grand to 50 grand?
There's a lot of people right now, Robert, that are stuck right now in trying to qualify for loans. And that's one of the stipulations in new construction for a lot of entry-level buyers, that first-time home buyers. They're getting stuck, and they've got to come to the table with an increased $15,000 to $20,000, $30,000 cost, and the builders are going to carry this back on some of them. But the people can't afford the increase. So guess what? They're writing second mortgages, in other words, and putting liens on property where people aren't going to be able to afford to pay it.
But right now we're talking about ways to find good deals, and this is good information. I want to hear your questions from you. If you have any questions, we've been talking about 28 minutes. And what have you learned so far? I'm finding a lot of my deals from wholesalers, from for rent ads. It's massive activity, massive numbers. Yes, the MLS in certain areas is very challenging. I understand that. Third, Chad was mentioning developing a network of contractors, rehabbers from Angie's List, Thumbtack, all those places running for one ads and saying, hey, do you know anybody? Because they're working, for 5, 10, 20 people a week or a month. Do you know any investors, landlords, landladies? I mentioned property managers. I mentioned calling a doorman and people that manage homeowners associations, the front gate people who might know someone who's getting divorced, must rent, place is empty, out of state owner, whatever. Chad, you want to give another one? That was some gold there about the contractors and Thumbtack, which I didn't even know what it was. You want to walk through another deal?
Well, I can tell you an easy one, and probably a lot of people don't do it. I mean, you've got all your online systems. You just got to know how to work the deal. Like you got Zillow and all the others. Some people don't think Zillow is a great source for leads, but we find numerous ones every single week off of Zillow. Why? Because it tells us our pre-foreclosure leads. I mean, even in the foreclosure leads, the people are in the house, everyone. You're not having to skip trace and run them down and hunt them down in an apartment or a family member's house. Work the foreclosure leads. They're actually in the home still. They haven't been kicked out. And right now, the average foreclosure is taking almost, I think it's 500 and almost 600 days right now, Robert. The average foreclosure is taking for them to complete. Again, because of forbearance and the COVID and everything else. But that's a long time people have been in these houses, and you can get a hold of them right now. You can actually contact them, knock on the door. You can talk to people.
So let's walk us through. So you see in Zillow foreclosure, is that what you're looking at?
Yep. Foreclosure and pre-foreclosure.
So you're calling the realtor, or you're going right to the homeowner?
Right to the homeowner. Yeah, right to the homeowner.
You're looking at the address and just going right to them?
That's it.
So we have databases where we go right to the owner. That's what Chad's talking about. And talk to the homeowner. And how's that conversation go once you get a hold of them? Because they have a realtor.
Yeah. So depending on the car, as soon as they tell me they have a realtor, I was like, okay, great. What I'll do is I'll go right to the realtor, and I'll have the realtor be my listing, represent me as well. So they'll make a little bit more commission. And so instead of splitting a $30,000 commission, I'll let them keep a $20,000 commission and give me the extra $10,000 discount on the property, Robert. So I get a little bit more of a build-in by doing double agency if I can, and depending on the area. So I'll always have the agent represent me too, and the seller at the same time if I have to, so they can get a full rip.
Oh, Chad, let me give you some gold while you're giving out the gold. Whenever I call a realtor, and you got to be fair and say, listen, if I buy this house from you, what Chad said is, I'm going to pay commission too. What I say is, if I fix it and sell it or rent it and sell it down the road, I will relist it with you if you treat me well and if you meet my criteria. I always put a little condition in there so you get double commissions. Are you interested in that? And every realtor's like, yes. And Chad, I'm amazed at how many investors don't say that to the realtors. The investors thinking of themselves. They're just calling deals. They don't know the scripts. They don't know how to get into the people's heads. And when I say that, Chad, obviously that realtor is looking for deals for me, being my best friend, because I'm going to let them resell my rehabs and they're going to get double commission. So that's just a little trick there. Some of you may be doing that, but for the new people that aren't, that's going to open up a lot of doors. And Chad, I don't know if you taught me that, or I think you might have way back when.
Oh, yeah. Who knows? We probably came up at dinner. We both probably were talking about a better way.
So keep going. So you call the realtor and say, hey, I want to be on there. Help me out. Yeah. And then how do you get that deal?
So I just talked to the agent, as far as finding out what I can go on the price. And, it's really neat to throw out a letter of intent is what I always like to do instead of my hard offers all the time. I love a letter of intent. It gets me so much further in my deals than most people. You're writing up contracts and all that. That's not really what you want to do. I work a letter of intent, and it's a different situation, especially when I'm talking to a homeowner. I always explain not what they're going to make, but it's also what equity that they have in their house, because a lot of times the people are in a bad situation, Robert. And I talk to a homeowner about not like, hey, here's how much money you're going to get. I talk to the homeowners, hey, let me tell you about your house. Here's how much equity you have. And so I always have a different conversation with a homeowner. I let them know how much equity they've got in their house, just because that's going to be the number. Because sometimes, a lot of times, they don't understand. They've been told a certain number by someone else, sometimes realtors, other investors. So I have a different conversation, not how much money I'm going to give you or what you're going to get. I say, hey, here's how much equity you have in your property, and I want to make sure they don't want to walk away empty-handed. That's my conversation starter. That's the way I present myself. It carries a different level of professionalism with them and the agent, so.
Yeah. And by the way, this is very key. A lot of investors are calling up saying, how much is your house worth? What do you sell it for? I need a better price.
Yeah.
And that can work if you do enough of it, right? It can
Yeah,
work.
yeah, exactly. But
what
it doesn't really
uses,
work.
but Chad's a master. He's using what's called the consultative sale process. He's not selling. He's not buying. He's educating and consulting. But the first thing you have to do that is to educate, consult yourself, because Chad will do research and know the value of that house, know the neighborhood, know the neighbors. And most investors aren't doing that. And when someone like Chad or one of our students has been trained by us calls up and starts doing that, the people are like going, you're different. You're not the other 80 people that call me trying to lowball my house. It's worth, I'm listed for 400. They're all after, offer 290 or 310. And you're trying to help me and you're educated.
Yeah.
Right. It makes a world of difference.
Well, here's the biggest problem, Robert, is most people go in there and they don't talk to the homeowner about what the homeowner want to do. Hey, how many bedrooms is your house? I don't care how many bedrooms. It's none of your business how many bedrooms I have. I'm not moving. How many bathrooms? Why do you care? I'm going to be using my bathroom, not you. You're never going to get my house. Like, don't ask me how big my square footage of my house or my yard is, or do I keep my pool clean, or does it need a new roof? I'm not selling. There's the problem that they have, is they didn't go in there and find out really what the situation was. I don't ask ever how many bedrooms. I never ask the square footage. I never, ever mention the word that I'm an investor. I never ask them if the property has, what repairs they made on the property up front. Never, because I already know that before I make my call. I'm going to know the bedroom. I'm going to tell them. Yeah, I'm going to tell them all the information. So I spend my time focusing on the most important things, is helping the individual out of a bad situation. And if they say, and what I really learned, Robert, is they tell me, I'm like, what are your plans? They're like, you know what? I'm going to delay the foreclosure. I'm going to stay here as long as I can. Okay, great. If I can help you pay that off, would that help? Then what's your plan? Like, okay, great. If you need your foreclosure, you're $40,000 behind. If I can pay that for you, now what? What would you do? And then put it back on them. Talk to them like, what are you going to do now? Okay, if I can pay your $40,000, how are you going to pay me back?
So how do you walk through a deal that, let's say there's a little bit of equity there, and at first they don't want to sell? How do you get that deal? How do you?
Very first thing I say to an individual is, if I talk to them and it's off market, they haven't listed yet, it's a pre-foreclosure. You can work a 30, 60, 90-day late pre-foreclosure lease. Those are not listed with realtors yet. Okay, those are run through your credit reporting agencies. Your credit bureaus pull those reports. It's not a technically notice of default. It's a pre-NOD. So what I'd like to do is I talk to them, and most of the time, guess what they're going to tell you? There's only two options in a foreclosure, Robert. And everybody says, oh, buy, do all this. No, there's two. They're staying or they're going. That's it. There's nothing else. You're staying or you're leaving. If I can't find that out, it doesn't matter what else you try to talk to them about. Are they going to stay there or are they going to go? Then I direct my conversation. Okay, I'm going to stay here. Well, you're 10 months behind in mortgage payment. How do you plan on staying? And that's it. That's where I have my conversation. Okay, if I can pay those 10 months behind you, you're in forbearance, you owe about $50,000. The bank's not going to take anything less than 50% of your forbearance, or they're not going to help you. So right. You owe about $30,000. So if I can pay that, what are you going to do? Is there a way you can pay me back? I'm offering help right away, right in the beginning. And
what do they say?
What are they going to tell me?
What do they say? Yeah, I can pay you $2,000 a month, $1,500.
They say, you can do that? Of course, I can make you pay. Okay, great. So how long would it take you to pay that? Because I was like, it's $25,000. So you've got your current mortgage payment of $1,000. You got to pay me $25,000. So if I can pay you, can you pay me $1,000 a month for the next 24 months? That'll just pay me back. So I'm going to try to make some money too and make it fair. So can you pay $1,500 a month and plus your mortgage payment? That's $2,500 a month. Do you think you can do that? No, there's no way. Okay, well then how are you going to fix your foreclosure in the next 2 weeks before the auction on Monday? Because that's the question, is how are you going to fix it? If I don't fix it for you, what are you going to do?
Please write this down, everybody. We don't sell, we don't convince, we just ask questions. We're letting them sell themselves or buy themselves or sell the house, right?
Yeah. And they're going to tell me, honestly, Robert, a lot of times like they got to move. They need time.
Yeah.
So there's 85% of them, Robert, are going to end up trying to file bankruptcy or something, 2 days before the sale to delay it, to buy more time.
And bankruptcy just slows it down, what, about 3 to 6 months?
Well, technically, I've helped individuals that I'm working on right now. I'm buying them probably about 2 years. of free time, Robert. Well, so there are some good benefits of bankruptcy, and there's also the downside of bankruptcy. It depends on what side. Our advanced coaching students, we know how to do it for both ways.
There you go. Hey, everybody, we just put in the panel. If you have any questions, I wouldn't mind stopping right now. We've talked about a bunch of ways: wholesalers, hard money lenders, pre-foreclosure conversations. These are all unique ways that are working today, this week, last week. Chad's doing deals. If you want to show us a deal in a minute, Chad. Do you have any questions you can ask? I think maybe we'll get the host to allow you to unmute or to video, or you can type it in. We want to hear your challenges, what you'd like to know, how we can help you. We're here to help you. We love doing this. Any little questions, big questions, basic questions. I'm upside down. He goes, trust me. I rented them. I fixed them up. It took me about a year. It hurt. The neighbors started fixing their place up. And about 8 years later, I sold them for 140 grand. The neighborhood got a lot better. I paid off my debt of, to my 20 partners of, 40 in the repairs, and I made 30, 40 grand a pop. Plus I cash flowed and tax benefits. So I made some good money. It took a while. It was a nightmare. I violated every system we have. I learned everything the hard way, so you don't have to learn it that way. And how many of y'all think I'm pretty smart? My mentor said, hold on. I did. Made 30, 40 grand a pop net after paying off everybody. Well, they're worth about 340 now. I sold them too early. The best deal I ever did.
How time can fix.
I'm not going to count this year because I've got a mine that's worth a ridiculous amount of money. I'm working on some huge projects. I've got tiny home developments, real estate, commercial. So we're not counting this year. Before this year, my best deal was a partner of mine relationship called. We did 400 homes in Marseille, France. In France, when you get the land was given to us by a motivated seller. If we would develop it, we gave them very little. And in France, when you have land, the contractor pays to build. You don't have to borrow money. So we built 400 caravans, homes, vacation homes, sold them also in parts of France and Germany. If the people don't pay the rent, even middle class, the government pays the rent. So we rented some. We made a ton of money. It was in France. I never went to Marseille as an investor. I did all long distance, and it was just a ridiculous 400 house deal that I probably spent 30 to 80 hours on, had great partners, and made a bunch of money. I just bought a $2 billion house in Medellin under contract for 1.3 or 4. That's not a bad deal. I can Airbnb it 5 nights a month and pay for it, which I do. So those are my worst and best deals. We may remember to say possible. Hey, Ali, love your question. I want it, but it's all new. Of course, Ali, any job you start is new. It's there is a lot of stuff to learn, but Ali, here's the good news. This is Chad and I throwing in 30 years of real estate investing. Make sense? Hey, Owen, I'm not sure when I'm in Atlanta, but I promise you when I come, I will call you and take you to lunch. You're a good man. Check out his website.
Hey, that deal I just did, that one I was just talking about, was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Not Robert.
Owen's a great guy. Got a great charity, helps kids learn how about life through chess and change their life. And chess changed my life. So way to go, Owen. Check out his website. Hey, Ali, it's new. And the only thing you got to do when you join us, if you do join us or however you do it, is close one deal. You don't need to learn everything. You don't need to learn everything Chad knows or Robert knows. You need to learn how to close one deal. There it is. Besomeone.org, man. Go there, check it out, what he's doing. Call him, donate money, hello, volunteer. Great guy. Ali. So it's like any business gets started. Are you better at your job today than you were the first week? Remember, you didn't know where the computer was, who does what. Now you don't even think about it. Mm-hmm. So change the fear into I'm excited. I want to do it. Our other friend like that. Any other questions? You can chat them. You can write them. I'm looking for the Q&A. Let's see. There's another one here, I think. Can you help with the promises of living in Australia and buying in U.S.? Again, I live in Medellin, Colombia. The last 100 properties I've done, I've not visited. I'm here talking to you. I'm not sure if you're in Australia, by the way. I go there usually once a year, not during the pandemic. My trainer is in Melbourne. I've done deals in Melbourne and the Gold Coast. We do everything virtual. I've got almost 2,000 international students, some in Australia, a lot in Israel, a lot in Russia, a lot in Africa, a lot in Europe, who are doing it all. So instead of me driving or flying to Indianapolis or Atlanta or West Palm Beach or Marseille, the contractor goes with his camera. I look at the house. Here's the roof, just like we're doing here on Zoom. We just inspected a home in Ohio with their Israelis. Zoom. They can't leave. I couldn't leave. We looked at the renter. So to me, it's the same system, whether you're buying 4 doors down in Australia or you're buying a rehab or hotel or house in Wyoming or Boulder, Colorado, or West Palm Beach, Florida. Most of our students do everything virtual. Chad, is that pretty accurate? I mean, because you got a student up in Canada, Calgary. Where's she doing deals?
Yeah, we had one from I forgot Marcel for Lebanon, I think. Where's he from?
He's in Lebanon. That's right. He speaks French
Lebanon,
and Arabic.
Yeah, Canada,
and where's he
Lebanon,
doing deals?
Florida. I think that's where he's at. Yeah, Florida.
And our artist up in Calgary, she's lovely. Now she's from
Pennsylvania, Georgia, Texas, different places.
You're in Phoenix. Where's your last deal? Just what city is it in? If you don't want to.
Oh, Atlanta. The one I just did, Atlanta.
Have you gone to? You haven't been to Atlanta, what, a year?
Oh yeah, I mean it's been longer than that for me. Yeah, Atlanta.
So we do all of our deals virtual. We've been doing it virtual for 15 years. Everyone during the pandemic is like, we're virtual, and people go, well, people on the Zoom call go, well, how do you do that? I'm like, well, how do you listen to me? I'm in Boulder, Colorado. Last week I was in Medellin, Colombia. It's called Zoom. It's called FaceTime. You can see the property. You can see the walls. You can see the contractor. You can build a team there in Sydney or Gold Coast or Melbourne or Perth. Love Perth, by the way. Or you can build a team in Memphis, Tennessee, or Atlanta, Georgia, or Manhattan. Or
here's a great way to think about it, Robert, is if there's a guy on the street corner that's got a sign that needs some help, in their life or something, we may have different opinions if we want to help them or not, right? But just think about it. Is he going to ask you when you hand in $5 out the window, or are they going to ask you where that $5 came from? No, they're not going to ask you where your $5 or $10 came from, right? Because they need help. If you are worried about doing deals, and helping someone is what you need to really be thinking about, because they'll never ask you. When someone needs your help genuinely, they don't ask you where it come from. They know it's coming from a spot of concern and help and sincerity and serving. That's why if you're worried about doing deals in other markets and someone's asking you, hey, who are you? What do you do? Then you know what? You've done something a little wrong in the process there. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
And Fidel, it's funny. I'm calling all the time now. The only thing I would recommend is get a U.S. number. If you're calling with a 9-7 something number, people get a little freaky. So you can go get a free U.S. number on or whatever.
Make sure you have a free.
All of our African students have Russians have U.S. numbers. You go to Skype. I have a U.S. number. I'm in Medellin. No one ever asked me, Chad, where are you? What do you do? They're the one running ads. They're the one selling a house. Last thing, as an investor, you buy Apple stock. Where is it headquartered? Where is it in California? It's that weird name.
Out, yeah. I mean,
So you don't
where their headquarters, right?
You don't fly to California and meet the chairman or chairwoman or Mr. Cook or whatever his name is before you invest in Apple. And you really don't care that they sell apples in China and Apple computers in Africa and Tennessee. You care about the return on investment. So you have to change your mindset. Now, what's funny is every morning at 7 a.m. here, I'm on the phone with a guy from Melbourne, my trainer, Mike, and it's 10 o'clock at night there. So a lot of our Israelis, our Australians, they get up early or late or take a few phone calls at kind of weird hours. But other than that, that's one of the reasons I live in Medellin. It's on Central Time, and I'm talking to the U.S. every day. No one ever asks where I am. I do all my business from 3rd and Ocean in Miami, which is the beach, or I do it from my pool in Medellin. Sometimes they go like, what's that noise in the background? Whoosh, whoosh. And I go, don't worry about it. It's the ocean. They just don't care. They have a problem. They're running an ad, and you got to turn that mindset around. You're not living there. You don't have to hang out there. The last 100 deals I've done, I've not seen. I've got a huge mine, which means real estate in Arco, Idaho. I'm not going there. It's boring. There's nothing there. I've seen pictures. My partners flew out and took pictures and go, yep, it looks just like the pictures. All of our Israelis who buy 20, 30 homes, or Africans or Russians who fly over, because you should fly over once a year or two, not for the property, but for the relationships. Have dinner with your realtor. Chad, you do that. You go take your contractor to lunch, you go down to Codes,
always.
Meet the guys and the girls and the ladies and the men. And when they go to the house, they say it looked just like it did in the video. And the numbers are the same. It's worth $300. I bought it for $205. I'm spending $20 fixing it. The contractor looks the same. So we have videos and phones and all that stuff. But the relationship part is good. You should travel. That's why I go to Australia almost every year. I'd love to see over there. That's why I'm flying to Nashville this week, not only see my family, but to sit down, break some bread with the realtor, break some bread with the contractors and my property managers. I don't have to, but it helps. So hope that answers the question. Chad, we always say we're doing this in an hour and we always keep going. Okay. I'm going to see if any other questions real quick. Fidel left their number 2. All right, where are you, Fidel? Let us know because we don't want to call you in the middle of the night.
California, it seems like.
And
that market's going to finally be good for once in the last, decade.
Yeah.
That market is so hot right now.
We in Manhattan, a lot of stuff went down 20-30%, man.
Yeah, I like it.
Keen to buy properties in the U.S. from Australia. What do I need to do? We'll give you a call. Chad, can you give them a call today or tomorrow?
Sure.
There's the numbers. Write it down if that's okay with Lindsay and Aaron and everybody. We appreciate it. Hey, everybody. I hope you learned something. We gave you a bunch of ways to find deals, a bunch of ways that we're analyzing the deals, some ways to look at the numbers. The next month, we'll have a different topic for you. You can write us and call us and let us know what you want. Any topic.
If you have a deal, send us your deal. We'll do a breakdown. We'll do a live, case study of some scenarios that you have for it. And I think that would be, if it's time to, if you can prepare to watch your email before we do the event.
And go to that Project X supply, Chad. If you can show that slide one more time, just if somebody didn't get it. And
the chat, it's in the link's in the chat on the box on the right, Robert, for everybody. If you want to click on the chat, we've put it in there. If you just want to click that link, you can start right there as well.
Okay, great. Click on that. Take 15 minutes, watch the videos, fill it out if you're interested. And when we do Project X, not only learn from us, the mentors, but all the students learn from each other. There it is. You can.
Gregory's in Maryland. I love Maryland, man. You got like 4 auctions coming up this month. Oh my gosh!
I've done a ton of deals in Hagerstown and Frederick.